Hey guys, welcome to Random Riley. Today is December, which means it's winter time, which means holidays, which means new background. Boom. Festive. This is not going to stay like this. I'm not going to wear this for the rest of December. I'm just doing this because everybody always makes this gigantic deal about December being the start of winter or November being the start of winter, which is ridiculous. Oh, it's December now, we must be festive. Everyone blind, everyone with their Christmas lights. I have my flash, kind of not sweater, not really a sweater. Wearing a hat. I put freaking tinsel in the background and those pillows that don't match. My cats are so confused. Anyway. Today we are doing the winter holidays book tag. I haven't done a tag in 3 videos. Might as well. Let's go. Question 1, the hot cocoa book. A book you would read while wrapped up in a blanket and sipping some hot cocoa. I'm very DC themed today. Just now noticed that. I picked All the Truth That's in Me by Julie Berry. There's something about this book where it's kind of an emotional roller coaster, but it's also a sweet, cutesy, contemporary historical fiction, which is odd. But it's one of those books that I'm reading it and I don't ever want to put it down. I could read this book in a few hours and I would pick it up and I would start reading it again. I love this book so much and I always read it on car trips, which is kind of, I drink a lot of hot chocolate on car trips for some reason. I don't know why. Don't question my lifestyle choices. Gives me warm and fuzzy feelings and I feel like that's the perfect book thing to read. Question 2, the Warm Fire book. A book that warms your heart on a cold winter's day. For this one I picked Attachments by Rainbow Rowell because this book is just such a light-hearted, funny thing. Quick, happy-go-lucky kind of ish read, and I really enjoy this book and it always makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Just the characters themselves are such idiots and it's such a joy to read about them that it makes me feel good about myself. Question 3, the Snowed In book. A book you just don't want to put down when you're snowed in your house. We haven't had any snow yet where I live and it's really depressing. It's like 60 degrees outside. My books are out of order. For this one, I chose The Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan. This book is kind of hefty, and so I feel like I could make my way completely through it during a snowstorm if I'm locked in, and I feel like I would enjoy it. The action and the camaraderie and the Persebeth in this would just completely lift my spirits about the fact that I'm probably going to die because I'm locked in my house in this middle of this blizzard. I understand this question is supposed to be like, oh, nice night snowed in, all by yourself, relaxing. No, this is panic. Run away, you're gonna die, starve to death, breathe asphalt. Question 4, the Bitter Cold book. A book that's just very cold. For this one, I chose Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This book isn't really cold. There are some lighthearted, funny moments, but the majority of it is very depressing and the characters are very serious and the situation they're in is very serious, so it feels like a more colder book to me. Like Crooked Kingdom is not as cold as this one, but this one's a lot colder because we have frosty relationships between characters that are like fighting. The whole world is terrible, the situation they are in is terrible, their lives are pretty much just trash, and it's exciting. I love this book. It's one of my favorites, but it's still a very cold book. Question 5, the Gifted book. A book you would love to be gifted. For this one, I chose none other than the great, magnificent, wonderful Ashfall by Mike Mullen. Ashfall was this kid named Alex. The volcano in Yellowstone explodes. He's trapped away from his family, has to run and go find his family to reunite with them. It's really cute, it's really adorable. It's my favorite book of all time. It's so great. Thank you, God. You're probably wondering, why this one? Why do I want a copy of a book that I already own? Well, I want a different copy. I love this copy. I truly do. It's beautiful, it's the pretty cover, it's magnificent, but I would also like it in hardcover, and I would also like different editions. I changed my answer for this book, but I also went for a copy of this book because this happened. This was how it was when I received it. Straight down the center is a huge, gigantic rip in the binding, and it pains me, and it's not even like a rip at a cute part, it's a rip at a terrible part, and I'm not okay with it, and I need a new copy of it, but I don't want to buy it because I do want to buy it, but you know, I have to buy the new book so I haven't yet read. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Question 6, the Gifted book. What's a book you would love to give to somebody? Somebody once told me. I put way too much chocolate on this. No regrets. For this one, I chose The Mortal Instruments, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. Because I own 2 copies of this book and I wouldn't mind giving one away. But actually, in all seriousness, this is one of my favorite series of all time. Everybody should read it. If you didn't like City of Bones, the first one, can you make it past the 3rd one? Can you at least try? Because after the 3rd one, during the 3rd one, is where things really start to pick up. So if you're like iffy about the first 2, then can you please continue? Or if you're iffy about the first one, can you please continue? If you completely hated it, I understand. All of the characters get better, the storyline gets better. Question 7, the Christmas Lights book. What is a book that just brightens up your day? For this one, I chose Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. And while looking for an answer to this question, I realized I read a lot of really depressing books that are like, they have happy endings, and like, that's great, that makes me feel great, but like, in the middle parts, if they're so depressing and everything just goes wrong. But this one, not so much, because the characters and this are just always pretty bright and bubbly, or if they're not, there's somebody around them who's bright and bubbly and sees the bright side of things, and I liked that. I need that. The character, the relationships, the storyline in this is fantastic. I love this. Looking at this cover brings me joy. Question 8, the Melting Snow book. A book that shows your sadness of leaving. Now, I'm still not really sure what this question means, but I'm going to interpret it as, which book made it you sad that everything was over? For this one, I chose The Raven King by Maggie Steve Otter, and I recently got this book signed by her, y'all. See, it says, For Riley, Maggie, which makes me happy, and I'm gonna cry, and it's okay, everything is fine. Anyway, this is my favorite book in the Raven Cycle series. It wraps everything up, kind of. I don't want it to end, I don't want the characters to be gone, I don't want that to just be the end of their story. I want to watch them go through college and experience the rainforest, and I just want to watch them continue to live on and how they deal with everything after this thing has wrapped up. I want to know everything, and so this book makes me sad that it means the ending of the series. And I know Maggie is trying to write a Rowan just trilogy, but I want like another 3 books with all of them. Question 9, the classic book. A book you've read so much that it's now a classic for you. I drank all my hot chocolate. Now, because I was not a stereotypical YouTuber / reader of anything, and I didn't read Harry Potter until last year, I can't say Harry Potter for my answer for this one. So instead, I'm going to say the book that I have read the most, which is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. How is it possible that people have not read The Hunger Games? It is a classic. For me, it is a classic. It brought me into YA, it brought me into this whole new experience, it led to my life now. The Hunger Games is the marker for dystopia for me, which led me into other books like Divergent and etc., and that's what got me into my series. So that is all the questions we have for today, guys. If you want to watch the original tag, it's in the description. I highly suggest you watch it. It's great. And yeah, so that is it for today, guys. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to see more like it. All my social media stuff is in the description. I will see you guys next Monday. Bye!